Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've got a pretty heavy one today, but
It's essential listening.
right, especially if you care about the anime industry or honestly just the business of art. We're looking at a major turning point for Kyoto Animation.
We are. So on March 2nd, the studio announced the passing of Hideaki Hatta.
Their president and CEO.
Exactly. He passed away on February 16th, 2026, at the age of 76.
And they kept it quiet until after the private family ceremony, which, I mean, that honestly tracks with everything we know about Kiwani.
It really does. Private, respectful, and always focused on the work rather than the spectacle.
So our mission today isn't just to read an obituary to you. We need to unpack why Hatta matters. Because looking at the timeline, he wasn't just some suit running a legacy company.
No, not at all. He built the modern identity of the studio from the ground up.
Right, he's been there since the inception back in 1985. And to understand his impact, you really have to remember that Kyoto wasn't always this massive hit maker.
They started in outsourcing.
Essentially doing the grunt work, right? Like painting cells and in-betweens for other big studios.
Right, which is a very safe, consistent business model. You get a contract, you do the drawings,
You get paid.
you get paid. But Hatta's massive insight, and honestly the huge risk he took, was steering the ship toward creating their own intellectual property. He wanted them to own what they made.
Which is a massive gamble.
Yeah.
You go from guaranteed paychecks to, I hope people like this weird show about a high school girl who is technically a god.
That gamble paid off. The melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya didn't just work, it literally changed the entire landscape of anime fandom in the mid-2000s.
Along with titles like Canon and Clannad.
Yeah, those really proved his strategy was sound.
But the how is more interesting to me than the what here. Hatta operated on this philosophy of sincerity. Now, I have to play devil's advocate for a second. In a corporate press release, sincerity usually sounds like absolute buzzword fluff.
Right.
Did that actually translate to policy?
It really wasn't fluff for him. It meant creating an environment where animation wasn't treated as a factory line product. He believed if you treat the creators well,
Like with salaried positions, actual training.
exactly, and you approach the medium with respect, the audience will feel that resonance in the final product.
There's that quote from his 2020 Crunchyroll interview where he said, "Animation is the greatest form of expression."
Right.
He wasn't looking for content to fill a slot. He was looking for art.
And he believed the greatest support fans could give was just to keep watching and appreciating that art form as a whole. And honestly, that belief in the art is what carried them through their darkest moment.
The 2019 arson attack.
A tragedy that shook the world. A lesser leader might have folded the company or completely changed its culture out of fear.
But the sources emphasize his resilience there.
They do. He focused entirely on recovery. And not just of the building, but of the people. He maintained that inclusive environment even through the trauma.
That steadfastness is rare. But now the studio faces a new reality without him. The torch is passing to his son, Shinichiro Hatta.
Right. And the big question with family succession is always, is this nepotism or is this preparation?
Well, looking at his credits, Shinichiro isn't coming in cold from a different industry.
No, he's been a producer. He's been in the trenches on their project.
He knows the production side inside and out.
Exactly. The indication is that he's ready to uphold those specific values his father instilled, that sincerity, while trying to keep their global resonance growing.
So it's a continuation of the philosophy, not a hard reboot.
That is the hope, yeah.
It's worth noting, the studio has requested no flowers, donations, or visits.
Again, keeping the focus on privacy and respect for the family.
Which brings it all full circle. Hatta left a legacy where creators could find their voices. That culture is what Shinichiro has to protect.
It's a massive responsibility.
It really is. And that leaves us with a final thought for you. As Shinichiro Hatta steps into this pivotal role, how does a successor balance the weight of such a historic emotional roadmap with the necessity of evolving a studio that means so much to so many people? Thanks for diving in with us.